I know. So they're a bit behind. And we were actually waiting until we had all of the groups set up, and we knew who would be the person or persons from those groups that would be part of the communications, that would sort of be the connection, the link with the communications team, the international communications team. And then we wanted to have a meeting of all of the people from the different regional communication heads, let's say the one or two people from each regional communication team. We wanted to have a meeting and then discuss how we want to coordinate things, how different groups want to maybe do things differently, but what we would still do together. Yeah? And that, we don't know exactly when that was going to be. We had hoped it would be already in this month, in February, but that won't happen now. I mean, we're already the end of February almost. Yeah. So March, probably. Yeah, hope. Yeah.
So from March, we will have some paper how we will act regionally in terms of.
Well, I don't, are you talking about having your paper or your idea from Central Asia and Mongolia? Or are you talking about having an international one?
I don't know exactly. Well, because Ihemba is sick for today's meeting,
yeah.
He said, you will give us quite content consultancy about how we will act and how you prefer the international group to communicate with the regional groups.
Well, I had no idea what my task was supposed to be. No idea at all. Yeah, I only got this invitation from Hijaba the day before yesterday, saying, "Can you join this meeting?" And that's as much as I know. But if you want some information about what we're doing at what we're thinking of at the international level, it's probably a bit early for that because we haven't met as a team recently. I mean, the team itself, the communications team, as far as I know, the international one will probably be led by Engin. Engin is also the coordinator of the European regional group. And he's very, very good in communications. And he has all of the ideas and he has many skills. Yeah. So he's probably the one who will be coordinating it, but that's not 100% decided yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's probable. And at the moment we have Engin, we have Barbara, who's in the States, University of Arizona, and we have myself here in Germany. And then we thought we would have one person, maybe two, but at least one person from each regional group. And then we would decide together, not that the international group sort of says this is the way it's going to be, but we then decide together in a discussion, in a Zoom discussion, how we want to work. One of the, I mean, those kind of issues where we have an international meeting, like we have the United Nations General Assembly, that's something where all of the communication people from the different regions somehow have to coordinate what they're doing because this is international. There's other aspects of what you are trying to make known in your region, which you might take a different approach to it than, let's say, somebody in South America, because of differences in habits of using certain types of media or whatever. Yeah? So those are things that are decided at the regional level. And the other thing which is decided at the regional level, we were hoping, would be the regional page on the website. You know, this, what we call the online booth. It's a website mainly with photos and with videos. You were involved in thinking about how we could set that up, yeah? And we've got these regional pages. There's a regional page for Central Asia, Mongolia. And when we set it up, it was basically just me, just sort of asking people for videos and asking people for photos and putting something on the website.
Yeah.
But now it should be the people from Central Asia and Mongolia who decide how they're going to be represented on that website. It shouldn't be my choice.
So the nearest our goal is improving regional pages and then online booth.
Yeah, right. On the online booth, regional page on the online booth. Nothing has actually been changed on that page for Central Asia and Mongolia since it was set up just before the COAG, the Committee on Agriculture meeting in late September. There's been nothing changed on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so there's, if you have better videos, if you have better photos or more, if you have other resources that you want to put on that, there's a section which says regional news and resources. If you want to put things there, that would be up to your group to decide how you're going to do it. The actual physical sort of getting it posted, we have to sort that out with the University of Arizona about the editing rights. I mean, the webmaster has to give to different people editing rights and also has to explain or make a guideline about how to post things on the web page.
Does this guy if we send the materials, does he can do it, or he's a lot of?
That's something we're still discussing.
Okay.
I mean, when we started, we didn't have so much material, but when we have 10 or 11 or even 12 regional groups, because some groups are subdividing, like Eastern and Southern Africa will probably make separate groups, and then we might even have separate web pages. Then if all of them are sending materials, it might be too much for the university. So that's something that we have to find out first. Is it okay? And that's something that I hope, I think it's Barbara is going to be speaking with the webmaster on Friday of this week. And she's going to ask if it is possible for the university to handle that. If people send in things and the people from the university simply upload things. And if it isn't, then maybe the simpler things like, posting photos, posting resources, those kind of things are really simple. Then maybe we could split it up, that simpler things are done by somebody from each of the regional groups, and the more complicated things are done by the university. But we don't know yet. So it's a bit early to discuss it. Probably after this week, as I say, I hope we have within the next couple of weeks, I hope we have a meeting of the, the communications group of all the people from all of the regions. And then, then by then we'll know what the University of Arizona can do and what the regional groups will need to do and how we're going to go about that. We have Sumjitma on, but doesn't seem to be with the microphone. Is that somebody also from your communications group?
I think so. Let me ask her. Sunchitma Bano. Sunchitma. Sunchitma. No, I think she's just on.
Turned off the mic, and well, maybe he's gone away. Okay,
Yeah.
so Erkan Jazil is only the person that posted to set up this meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. They are the most active ones. I don't know why here.
Mandak, are you the one who is coordinating the group, the communications group?
No. Well, Ichenbai said me that if he needs me, he will call. So today he needs me and I'm here.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's just a bit
Yeah,
tricky.
that's some bit tricky. Yeah.
So I really don't know the exactly what we are expecting, and what we are trying to do.
Yeah.
And now you opened me eyes half.
Well, I mean, we're all a bit sort of, let's say, exploring. Yeah. What can we do? I mean, we all have limitations as far as time is concerned. Yeah. Well, maybe I don't have as many limitations as some people because I'm retired, but other people that are, have full-time jobs, they have quite some limitations as far as time is concerned. And we also have limitations as far as funding is concerned. Yeah.
Oh,
if
yeah.
we say we want to have a very nice short film made about this to put on the website or to use in different events or whatever, we have to find ways to finance that. Right?
Yeah.
If we say we want to have some kind of event or at the United Nations in New York, some pre-UNGA workshop or something like that, then we have to find some way to finance it.
Sure. That's I think the greatest challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, it is in New York, and we do have a fairly strong North American regional group, including people actually from the Department of Agriculture, from the government.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe they can organize something, and also some international organizations that are part of the international support group. Maybe they can organize something. I mean, it's not something that I as I say, I'm retired. I don't have the institutional affiliation to be able to drum up funds. Yeah.
But you're really active. Where is the people? So you retired from university?
No, I always had something to do with universities through the networking and through some occasional teaching, but most of my work throughout the years has been with a non-governmental organization. And I've been very much involved in advisory work, networking, mentoring of people in organizations. a lot to do with pastoralism, but also a lot to do with ecologically oriented agriculture, what they call agroecology now.
Mm-hmm. So you still
I was working with the Dutch organization. I'm living in Germany, but my professional life when I was employed was with a Dutch organization until I became 65, and then I retired. But I kept on doing most of the work, the same kind of work, but just not paid for it. Yeah. And did you study in the States?
No, I almost never been in States. I never got out of Mongolia and Russia.
Yeah, I know that you mentioned that you had studied in Russia, but I thought, you might have studied in the States as well because your English is so good.
Yeah, my best teacher is Hollywood movies. That's why.
Well, in this kind of international work, very, very useful, yeah, to have a good knowledge of English. I mean, I'm lucky. I come originally from Canada, and it's my mother tongue, so I didn't have to learn it. But for so many other people, even if they speak 4 or 5 languages, if they don't speak English, it's very difficult to do this kind of international work.
Yeah. It took me 10 years to learn English.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Self-made English, so no, my writing is not so good.
Yeah. Well, that's of course more difficult, much more difficult. It is a difficult language. It's a difficult language as far as pronunciation is concerned, because there's no real rules. Everything is pronounced differently, although it's spelled the same. There's many different ways to pronounce it, and the grammar is quite difficult. Yeah. But to learn to speak it, I think, of course, is much easier than to write it well. Yeah. But that's most languages. Yeah.
So you have French and German?
Myself? Yeah, I mean, growing up in Canada, we had English and French because we're a bilingual country, and we had to learn both languages. I speak German here at home because this is where I'm married to a German. Yeah. So this is what we speak here. Yeah. And in the Netherlands, I did learn Dutch, but all of our work, it was international work, was all in English or French or Spanish. You don't do international work in Dutch. Or in German, for that matter. It's not useful. German's not useful as an international language. It's really English, French, and Spanish, and Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese.
Arabic. Yeah, that's also very useful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did try to learn Arabic when I was living in Tunisia, but no, I didn't really get that far, and I forgot most of it after we left Tunisia. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's why you love grasslands.
Rangelands, actually. There's not so much grass sometimes. But I mean, a lot of our work has been, we spent many years in West Africa. Here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, evening with you. Your microphone's off. Yeah.
Hi, I'm sorry. I had another meeting, so I was late.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're just the 3 of us thus far. We don't have people from Central Asia yet. I mean, from the country, you said Kazakhstan, there was going to be somebody coming in Mandak?
Yeah, I thought that from Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan, Kulaypa, you know Kulaypa? She's from Kyrgyzstan, yeah?
I think they should also participate, but
Do you have
I
their
don't know why.
WhatsApp so we can ask them to join?
I don't have WhatsApp, but maybe the person from Jasil could have contact with all of them, so she could ask from them.
So Sunchitma, you're
I'm from National Federation of Pasteurism groups.
Okay. So we need to Erkin, who is not responding to my chat.
Actually, she is the host and main focal person who is organizing this meeting, I think.
Who? Erkin?
Erkin?
Yeah, he's just technical.
Here.
Just set up the meeting. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was telling Mandak a bit about how things are going fairly slowly as far as setting up the regional groups are concerned, and identifying people from the groups that are going to be involved in the communication work. And we do plan to have a meeting of all of the, at least one from each of the regional groupings for the communication. But that probably won't be until another couple of weeks because the groups aren't set up yet. Not all of the groups. Your group is well on its way. And the Eastern Asian group is also well on its way. But some other groups are taking a bit more time. The South American group, the Australasian group, they still haven't identified anybody. The West African group. Yeah.
Okay.
Kulipa not responding on Facebook chat.
No. Well, Mandak, I would suggest that you, the two of you, pose any questions that you have for me, and I'll see if I can answer them. And then we reschedule a meeting after we've had this news from the University of Arizona about how they want to handle the online booth. As I told you, Barbara will be speaking with the webmaster on Friday this week. And then we'll have a better idea of how we can go ahead with the online booth with your regional page and the other regional pages.
Okay, so far from the guidance from Mr. Echenberg was first ask about group contact. Is it preferable for international group to contact a single person who represents a region, or each country should be represented? That's the first question. The second, agenda of our work for 2021, how we should consolidate our forces to prepare for next stage of improving internationally.
Okay, the idea was that for each region, there would be one person, perhaps two, but that would be the limit, that would be involved in the communication between the regional groups. That is to say, with the international communication team and with the representatives of the other regional communication teams. It was just felt that if we did with somebody from each country, it would be too unwieldy, too big, too difficult to discuss things. So that was the suggestion. I mean, all of these things are suggestions. They can still be discussed, and if good reasons are given to do it a different way, there's still a possibility to do it a different way. But that's the way that at least the International Support Group, this group, there's Mariam Niameh, she's the most active person. And then Barbara, who's more connected with the communications and website and so forth. And Jim, they are the ones that sort of make the suggestions. They're open for suggestions for others as well. And then put it on the schedule of the International Support Group meeting on the agenda. I think there's a meeting of the International Support Group should be coming up in mid to late March, I think. So if there are other suggestions of how to go about organizing the communication between the regional communication teams, it would be good to have that to discuss in the International Support Group meeting.
Well, we cannot decide on one or two person because we do not have anyone.
Oh,
yeah. So we will discuss it internally and inform by you to the mailing list. Actually, do we have a mailing group, the same mailing group which was during our website development, or it's different group?
There is not yet a new group set up, because we wanted to wait until we had the representatives from the different regional groups and then set up a new mailing group for the website and just for communications generally. So that doesn't exist yet. We're just putting people on the addresses when you on an email, just adding the names as we hear who is representing which group. But we will set up a mailing group. Now, you might be able to argue, I mean, Central Asia and Mongolia is huge. You might be able to argue that you should maybe have two representatives on the international communications, representing your region. But I don't know if it will be possible to have one from each country. I really don't know. But that's a question I can raise. I can ask.
But two-person is better because one, there will be no one to backstop any thing. So
it's a good point. Yeah, two people is better, so that if one cannot make it, the other one can, and you keep each other informed. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Then let's suggest that.
I think so too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's it, our meeting.
That's as far as we can get, that's far. I mean, as far as the agenda for 2021 is concerned, of course, the main thing right now is to get the United Nations General Assembly to approve the year for 2026. So the main thing that we're focusing on right now, each of the groups, is trying to get as many countries as possible, governments, and usually it's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Overseas Affairs or whatever it's called in your country, to get them to send a letter of support to the Mongolian government that this country supports this proposal, and then of course they will vote in favor of it at the UN General Assembly. So that's the main point. The next most important point is to get as many letters of support from other organizations. It can be from NGOs, it can be from universities, it can be from research institutes, it can be from development organizations, farmer, that is to say, pastoralist organization, pasture user groups. That's the most important group among them, to get as many letters of support from those groups.
I see.
And these would be sent to the Mongolian government. And there's a list, I think you might have that, Mandak, do you have that list of addresses to whom those letters should be sent?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Mariam is on the mailing list, is on the CC list, yeah. And also FAO is on the CC list. And then they are keeping track. They have the whole list of letters. Indeed, they just put the numbers on the website. They haven't put the names of the countries or the organizations, but maybe they will.
Okay.
Yunga right now.
Yunga, you mean in 2001, 2021, we should apply for Yunga.
Well, the thing is the UNGA takes place on the in September. I think it's
usually
2021, this year. And the proposal from the Mongolian government has gone through the COAG on the Committee on Agriculture. It's gone through the council. It will in July go through the FAO conference, but there's no big problems from what we've heard from FAO. They said if the COAG has given it the okay, then it will go automatically through the conference. We don't have to worry about that. That's what they say.
I see.
What we do have to worry about is when we get, because it will be passed on. FAO will pass it on through the UN system to UNGA, and it goes on the agenda of UNGA. And that's where we have to make sure that we get as many countries supporting it as possible.
Okay. How about two neighbors, Russia and China? Do they support?
I don't think either of them have yet. If I recall, I can check it for you, Mandak, but I don't think, Russia certainly not, has not. But I think there have been some efforts to try to get a letter from China. I'm not too sure if that worked. I would have to check that out.
Because now in a few days, in mid of March, they will quick UNCCD conference of review reporting or something like that. And we have our groups regional groups will gathering during this time. I think we can use this time also to.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
And is there any possibility during the launching of International Restoration Decade to stress out this rangeland problem? Might be countries will also encourage.
Yeah, well, actually, with the Restoration Decade, there's two organizations that are involved in the International Support Group. One is WWF, and the other is ILRI, International Livestock Research Institute. And they are already starting to make efforts to influence this or to have something in this launching of the decade of restoration. Yeah. So the person who is most in, well, there's two people. I can't remember the name of the other person, also a woman, by the way, but the person from ILRI who is most involved in that is Fiona Flinton.
Mhm.
So we should actually be sending out some news about that around to everybody, yeah, about that launching and what's being planned, because I think we need to keep each other informed about what we're
Yeah.
involved in, yeah, and if you guys are involved in some kind of international thing, that you can then take the lead in making things known about the International Year for Rangelands. Yeah.
So we can also influence the international NGOs and organizations who are in Mongolia through their
Yeah, definitely.
influence. Actually,
Definitely.
the
Good.
decade will be launched in May,
Uh-huh.
first decade of May, so it's quite time.
Okay, yeah. No, that would be great if you can get international NGOs that are working in your region to give letters of support. That's fantastic. If you want to have an overview of what organizations have already given letters of support, I could try and get that and send it to you. Do you want that?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, then let me get that from Mariam, and I'll send it to you. And then you know, for example, you don't have to pressure this particular international organization because they've already supported it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if there is some organizations are left, or
Yeah, exactly.
we would ask from them to have letters of support too.
That's right.
And I have also one question from you. Our organization has branches in countryside, I mean in Amak and Somt level. So they cannot, can they send in these letters of support too? Because we have 18 branches in countryside. They are all NGOs who are, including past user groups in AMAC level. So maybe also they could send in this kind of letters too.
I think that's no mistake, definitely. I mean, to have it from the overall sort of umbrella organization is good, is absolutely top, but to have it from the other organizations that are involved, I think it's no mistake. It really shows that it's not only the people at that level that find it's important, it's the people in the different IMACs that find it important. Yeah? So I think that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see.
Okay.
So I think we ran our agenda. I know I need to report to Ichenbach.
Yeah, but look, I think, I mean, it's good. I think that we had this chance, this short period now, at least to talk about a few things. I can get the information, from Friday, and then what's happening with the communication group, and get back to you about that, and we can organize another meeting. Yeah. But I don't think we should organize a date now, because I don't know how long it's going to take to get these other things organized.
Okay.
And it's better if we meet when the international group is formed.
Yeah.
It will
I
be
hope
more.
within the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
See you again, then.
Nice to see the both of you.
So thank you, and sorry for being so late, but I've got the overview of the meeting, and also since we are also, the Mongolians, we could share between the organization later. So thank you.
Good. Okay, right then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.